What makes me fascinated about AI is the rate of change. I've been around long enough to see the advent of the cell phone. I've been around to see the internet. I've been around to see email, and I've been around to see social media and all things like that. I've never in my life ever seen anything that's had such a profound impact on marketing, which is what I do and what my clients pay me for in my life. I've never seen anything like this before.
Welcome to the EO Media House podcast. Today we have Scott Empringham from Empringham Media and proud member of Orange County in the show. And Scott is fascinated about AI. Scott, what makes you so fascinated about AI?
Well, thank you for having me. Proud member of EO Orange County for now 7 years. I'm really excited about that. What makes me fascinated about AI is the rate of change. I've been around long enough to see the advent of the cell phone. I've been around to see the internet. I've been around to see email, and I've been around to see social media and all things like that. I've never in my life ever seen anything that's had such a profound impact on marketing, which is what I do and what my clients pay me for in my life. I've never seen anything like this before.
So did it all start with you? I know you have a personal story to share. So what is it?
Yes. The most relevant thing I can offer is years ago, a handful of years ago, I'm in front of a room of about 1,000 of my industry peers. I'm accepting an award. I'm the CEO of one of the fastest growing social media agencies of its type. And we're winning awards. We hit 10 million and we're headed to 20 and 30. And I'm super excited. I could have never imagined on Monday, my life changed so dramatically. Two of my largest clients had lost their business, which meant overnight, virtually, I'd lost mine. And so my story was one of really taking 20 years to build a company, only to see it come crashing down. And then over the course of the next 30 days, figuring out what I was going to do to grow it back, what I was going to do to turn it around. And ultimately what I did, Robert, was I wrote down a plan, the same plan I used with my biggest Fortune 500 clients or Fortune 100 clients, an 8-step plan. I decided the tools I was going to use to go out and try to rebuild my business. And then I did something that EO teaches, you know about, we all know about, just radical accountability. And I posted it all on social media. I had a picture of my old office, this beautiful office in Newport Beach, California, 40 employees, and my new office, the picture you've seen of me wedged between two filing cabinets, the soy sauce and the hot sauce on the other side, no desk, just literally my laptop sitting on my lap in my dad's office with no business, no money, no clients, no income, and $500,000 in debt hanging over my head with 90 days in which to pay it back or I was going to lose my house on top of everything. So I was in a bad position. So your audience hopefully isn't in that kind of situation, but maybe they're just starting with AI or maybe they've seen AI and they want to take it to a next level. The one thing I can assure you is AI and social media combined, there's no better way and no faster way in history to get customers with social media and AI. In 88 days, I was able to walk into the bank, the same bank that had called me and said, I'm so sorry, we have to probably take your house. 88 days, I paid off 100% of the loan and changed my life forever. And the reason it changed was because I now had about 1,000 people going through my workshops. I had hundreds of people in my online social media course, and I had hundreds of people in my coaching program. And when November of 2022 came around and ChatGPT, video.ai, advertising.ai came out, ad creative data, all these different tools we would apply in our students and with our students and see which ones worked and which ones didn't. And in a very short period of time, we used that as testing ground for prompts and frameworks, and it just changed everything for us. And so for that reason, the impact I've seen it have on barbershops, gyms, dentist office, law firms, accounting firms, and everything in between, the impact has just been tremendous. And we're helping customers just get customers faster and save money and time and just change their marketing completely.
If I understand it correctly, so you were helping clients to create social media content, and all of a sudden there was ChatGPT version 3.
Yeah.
And that really solved a problem, basically to generate vast amounts of social media content.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And it took months.
What was the quality? Yeah, normally it would take months, but what was the initial quality of the output of ChatGPT?
The initial quality was
for your business.
Quality was, I'll call it good and startlingly fast. What helped was the distinction between prompts and frameworks. So, give you a quick example. And this is something we figured out after we started working with all these different clients. Somebody would say, write me a marketing plan for my small business, and they would enter their business information. And the marketing plan would actually be pretty good because you could put ChatGPT 3 or 4 into expert mode. And so with one prompt, you could put ChatGPT into expert mode, say, I have a restaurant here in Laguna Beach. It's a sushi restaurant. Write me a marketing plan. And it would be pretty good. If you added little distinctions to those prompts, putting it in expert mode, adding what problems you solve, adding a little bit of information about the niche that you're in, maybe the media that you're currently using, by adding little details to that prompt, the results were staggering. And so we began testing different things. So when somebody would say, I need a blog, you could prompt ChatGPT to write a blog, or you could prompt it to write a blog and embed a framework, say, I want a BuzzFeed style blog. And then maybe embed the command that you want, some keywords that rank high in SEO. And so you could embed frameworks within your request, both from an email standpoint, an ad standpoint, a blog standpoint, and more. So prompts are the entry point. Anybody can put a prompt, but with a little bit of expertise, you can include frameworks that are like the secret sauce. It's like dynamite to improve the quality of the output. And that's what we teach in our courses. That's what we teach and apply all the time. And they're changing all the time too.
And the quality of the output, did it surprise you in a sense? Did it come up with solutions that you said, that's pretty interesting. I never had thought about it. About this
100%. I'll give you a good example. So a woman came through our course and our workshops, and she had a clothing company, and it was during COVID. And she came through our course, and she said, I don't think anybody can help me because we're shut down for COVID. How am I supposed to get people into our store? But she was thinking about it wrong. As a 20-year marketing person, I was able to coach her a little bit and say, well, hang on, let's forget about our problems in our store. What is your client? Who's your ideal customer? And what are they struggling with? And she thought about it and she said, well, my ideal customer is probably a woman here in Laguna Beach, and she's bored on Facebook all day. She misses seeing her friends, and she identified with some core problems. As a marketing person, I was able to say, wait a second then. If she misses seeing her friends, she's bored on Facebook all day, and she would like a little bit of retail therapy, let's do Facebook Lives. So I came up with that. The campaign went really well, and she was able to do some wonderful things and get back on her feet and start selling to not only a local audience, but a regional and an international audience. So I thought I was pretty smart. ChatGPT comes along. We take our marketing prompt framework, our custom framework that we talk about. I'm happy to make it available to all of your listeners for free. It's a game changer. We said, what would ChatGPT do in that situation? Would it think to really lean into Facebook Live? Because that was the secret sauce for her. We prompted it using our prompt and our framework. And not only did it come up with the idea of Facebook Lives, but so much more, including other partners that were also struggling that wanted to appear on her Facebook Lives. Would be happy to donate free music, maybe booze if she was going to have a Facebook Live. All these different ideas that I never even thought of. And then, of course, the other thing is once you've primed ChatGPT, who's going to create the emails? Who's going to create the video scripts? Who's going to create the blogs and the posts and all the other stuff? With a couple of different prompts, she's able to create all the marketing materials for that Facebook Live in maybe a minute and a half. Whereas before she was spending like $800 or $1,000 for somebody to write the copy, and it was okay. Now she could get it all done instantly. So it was better.
So she fired her content writer?
Fired her.
Done.
Fired her. Saved $800 right to her bottom line.
Are there any other industries where you think, okay, this is a real game changer for instance, in franchise organization or for automobiles?
So I'm working with some.
If I got a local dealership.
Yeah, I'm working with a dealership right now that I'm really excited about. There's a couple of dealerships we're working with. We brought them on as pilots. They came through our course. They said, would this work for us? And they said, well, what do you have happening in the next month or two? And they said, we have a spring event coming up. I said, great. So you could prompt ChatGPT, name of the business, your ideal customers, the vehicles you have, a spring event. It came up with a half a dozen great names for the spring event. It came up with a marketing plan. It produced a marketing calendar in table format that the internet manager could take back to their general manager. She claimed she did it. ChatGPT put it together. She tweaked it. She had a marketing calendar in table format and all the content written, all the social posts, all the email campaigns, all the Facebook ads, everything done. Facebook event live description, even a video script, several video scripts she could give to her sales manager and some of the sales associates to do walkarounds on the vehicles. They would say, well, I don't exactly know what to say. Interior, exterior, the whole thing. She had a campaign in a box ready to go in an hour and a half of prompting and working with it, whereas this would have taken easily a month or two of preparation and still not been right or complete. This was the best campaign. She ran the campaign. She was excited about it, and she's coming back, and now she's all in on AI and ChatGPT to help build her campaigns.
So she did already implemented the strategy?
The campaign.
What were the results?
She loved it.
So what were the results?
She won't share all the sales results, but she came back and she's doing it again and again and again. And she's a subscriber to our software, and she's in our coaching program, and she's thrilled with the results. And she calls it her secret sauce because she's ultimately got, under that one umbrella, I think they've got 6 dealerships. So imagine for $49 is our software. For $49, she can crank out all the entire content for all of her stores, all different types, and use that same setup, same software to produce content for all of her stores in 30 minutes or 45 minutes, something that would have been unimaginable 6 months ago.
So how does this software work?
The software that we created essentially allows a customer, the problem it solves is if you don't know where to start with social media, if you don't know where to start with AI, this makes it absolutely simple. You answer 6 questions. Not too difficult questions either. What's the name of your business? What's your website address? Who's your ideal customer? Things like that. You answer those 6 questions. It sits on top of ChatGPT. It takes your information, and we create all the prompts behind it and all the frameworks behind it. So we use prompts and frameworks then to produce your 4-touch email campaign, your 12-touch social media post, your 12 ads, your blogs. We use a set of prompts and frameworks that we use behind the information you give it. So we parse that information, push it into ChatGPT. There's a conversation that occurs in 2 minutes. In about 4 or 5 seconds, your campaign starts to spin out, and you've got your entire campaign there in front of you. So it leverages both the inputs from the customer, prompts and frameworks that we know to be working right now, and they may not be working tomorrow, but they're working today. And then it sits on top of ChatGPT 4, which is the best language model we know available to produce that type of content in its entirety.
I'm not disappointing anymore by keying in the wrong prompts.
Yeah.
I get the prompts, I get the right frameworks. So you basically guarantee me the right output that I can immediately use in my marketing campaigns.
That's a great question. I can't guarantee you the right content because it's still based upon user input. So if you're not happy with the input, then it might not give you the content. But here's the cool thing. When you get back the campaign, it's got the best available prompts and frameworks behind it. When you get it back, if it doesn't look right, you've got unlimited edits. You could say, I know we were targeting, say, women with this campaign over here for this SUV, but I'd like to target men for maybe the trucks. Go back, create another campaign, no additional charge. You can create a campaign for men. Or you decide, this campaign, I really didn't specify whether it was men or women. I want to target baby boomers. You can go back. It's kind of like something where if you don't like it, it took you 2 minutes to do it. So you don't have to worry about the old days of producing a campaign that took you 30 days to produce, only to look at it and say, oh, I missed the mark. The feedback loop is so small, you can get almost an instant result. Determine whether you like it or not. If you like it, run with it. If you don't like it, change a couple words, resubmit, and the entire campaign comes back, saving you massive amounts of time. You don't have to recreate the emails or the blogs or the video script. It all does it for you. So it's a game changer.
When I'm on Instagram, I see these influencers claiming that they make like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month by using ChatGPT, by just keying simple things. How does this solution compare to these influencer suggested solutions? Because in my opinion, they just key in a prompt right on top of ChatGPT. What is the difference? Why? Yeah, what is the difference in this?
I'd have to take it on a case-by-case basis. I sometimes wonder when I see these people talking about all the millions of dollars that they're making on prompts, I wonder if some of them are telling the truth. I wonder if it's actually accurate. I doubt a lot of...
I don't think so, by the way.
No, either. Well, because here's what happened. November 2022 comes along, and I've got a couple hundred people in my courses. I've got 1,000 people going through my workshop, and I thought to myself, I don't know what's going to work, but I'm going to buy everything. So I was the sucker who downloaded all the different prompts and the frameworks that were guaranteed to work. I bought everything. Because I wanted to see if it worked. And to be perfectly candid, I thought, oh my gosh, these people are already so far ahead of me. So I bought the frameworks. I bought the software, Video.ai, Midjourney, Jasper, you name it, I was buying. AdCreative.ai. I downloaded and bought it, and then I would go apply it with my students. I'd be really excited about, say, like the expert mode prompt or the prompt engineer prompt. This one prompt was touted to be the be-all and end-all of prompts. And if you Google or go to YouTube and talk about the number one prompt that ends everything or that's the number one prompt of all time, oftentimes you'll see the prompt engineer prompt. I'm excited. I teach it in my class, and people scratch their heads and go, it's great if I had the time to prompt it, let it respond, prompt it, let it respond, prompt it, let it respond, and go back and forth for the next hour. Unfortunately, I've got 3 dentist office I'm managing. I'm also answering the phones. My boss has me answering the phones. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. I don't have time for that. So technically, it was accurate, but they called it practically useless. So I threw that prompt out. Then I tried other prompts, expert mode prompt, until finally we could come up with the ideal recipe, which was expert prompt with some frameworks. I'd give it to them. They'd fill out 6 pieces of information. They hit submit, and it all starts pouring out. And that was the secret sauce. It saved them time.
So the difference, basically, if I understand it correctly, but correct me if I'm wrong, you really solve a problem, and all those influencers basically selling, well, do what I do best, and I'm making like hundreds of thousands of dollars. You really solve a problem, and they don't.
And in a way, I'm honestly jealous a little bit because they don't have any accountability. I've got 1,000 different students that tell me, hey, that didn't work. Or I've got 200 students in my workshops that say, or in my course that say, that didn't work for me. And then they bail on my course if I do that. So they have no accountability. They're getting clicks and views and shares on YouTube. But as far as I can tell, they don't have any accountability face-to-face with people, business owners that are actually trying to use these prompts right now. When I go on a workshop and I've got 200 people on the workshop, or in your case, we did one where there was like 800 business owners registered or 700 business owners. These are all my peers. If I give them a prompt and they say, great, but I can't use it, believe me, I hear about it. Conversely, if I go on that same one and I say, this is a prompt, while we're on this workshop, here it is in the comment section, copy and paste that into ChatGPT, fill in those things as we go along and tell me what you see. And then the comment section is, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is incredible. Now we know we're onto something because it's getting real results, real time with business owners that are faced with the same things that you and I are faced with, not just some fantasy sort of YouTube scenario where we don't have anybody saying this is working or this isn't.
So it really is a business solution. Did it involve much from I know it's the second version. Did it involve a lot from the first version?
Yeah. Oh, it evolved a ton for the first version. So we ended up, we made 3 fundamental changes from the first version. One of the biggest changes we made is we went from ChatGPT 3 to ChatGPT 4. That alone made a massive, massive, massive difference. The second thing is we sped up the queries. So we parsed out some of the queries. We did some stuff on the back end that eliminated timeout problems, because what happened is we wanted to produce so much content for the customer, the 30 days of content. That was the idea. Instead of content at scale, it's campaigns at scale. I mean, it's almost mind-blowing to think in terms of, with Jasper and ChatGPT, we think about creating content. With AI Content Pro, it's actually campaigns at scale. So the ask of ChatGPT was so significant that sometimes it would time out. We parse the information, we optimize the information a little bit differently, so change that. Now we have fewer, if any, timeouts. The third thing is we kept improving the prompts and the frameworks. I'll give you one example. One of my favorite examples is we call it like the BuzzFeed blog. Anyone could go on and request a blog, and there's a handful of frameworks that you can include in that. We did all that to make sure the blog was SEO friendly, etc., the right ideal length and all those things. But when we embed the framework, BuzzFeed framework, we get a much more interesting title. We get typically a listicle. So there's a list of items in the blog that will help solve a problem, mistakes to avoid, ways to get what you want, secrets that every mom should know when trying to get their kids to brush their teeth. Really compelling stuff. And the customer can pick that out. That changed everything, because then that also made an ideal video script, 12 months or 12 weeks of content. It just really led itself. So we embed frameworks like BuzzFeed framework into the blog, pain, agitate, solve frameworks into the email series, a soap opera series into the email series. So these are all frameworks that copywriters that have been copywriting for 10, 20, 30 years know about, the soap opera series, or the pain, agitate, solve frameworks, or the attention, interest, desire frameworks. But the guy who owns a gym down the street, he doesn't want to deal with that. The hairstylist that has a couple of salons, she doesn't want to have to deal with that, or he doesn't want to have to deal with that. And so we embed all those frameworks, and all they care about is they get great content at the end, and they don't have to mess with all that stuff. So they go back to do what they do, cut hair, run gyms, run a dentist office, run a law firm. They don't want to be prompt engineers. We solve that for them.
So you put all the marketing knowledge that you have acquired over the past 20 years or so.
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting on.
Yeah. And people ask me, is it better? Is it as good as what you would do? And I have to say it's significantly better, if for no other reason, it's faster. There was a great study, and I don't know if this is going to make sense, but I'll do the best I can to describe it. Years ago, there was an experiment where the experimenter, the behavioral scientist, would give kids and engineers and lawyers and moms and dads spaghetti, a marshmallow, some tape, and a handful of things. And the assignment was to build the highest freestanding tower possible in like 11 minutes. And they give it to the attorneys. And for 9 of the 11 minutes, the attorneys are jockeying for who's in control. They talk about it, all that stuff. At the very last 2 minutes, they attempt to build the highest freestanding thing, and the thing crumbles, and now they're out of time, and they built a garbage freestanding thing. Moms and dads do the same thing. Parents do the same thing. What do kids, 10-year-old kids? They just start mashing stuff together, and they build this incredibly high freestanding structure. What does that have to do with marketing? It has everything to do with marketing when you think about trial, error. Learn, trial, error. Learn, trial, error. If you and I could create a campaign in about 2 minutes that's brilliant, really good, that's significant, and try it and look at it and impact the world and get some feedback, that's a lot better than waiting 60 days to try something. So you could try something just instantly and get immediate feedback on whether it's going to work or not, and get it again and again and again. Now we've come up with 6 campaigns and the time span that it used to take us to create with 1. And we've got feedback from the audience, and we're just much more effective with our marketing.
So all small business owners should basically use a tool like this, and it really is a guide or a real toolbox to improve the quality of their marketing campaigns.
100%.
Now, ChatGPT 4 is there. The hardest question is ChatGPT 5. Expected to launch somewhere in December, probably earlier or later. What are your thoughts? I know it's an impossible question to ask. I completely understand. But what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are this, is if I can get good at ChatGPT 4, if I can get results with ChatGPT 4 now and begin to understand the nuances, that when ChatGPT 5 comes out, and it's new to all of us but the 1% that are already playing with it, then I'm going to have an advantage. The reality is I have no idea of all the different capabilities. I've watched all the YouTube videos. I'm getting an understanding, but until you're really leveraging the tool and using the tool, it's hard to even imagine for me. So now what I've sort of focused myself on is mastering the tool that I have available, apply it day in and day out. And we've got hundreds of different businesses. I was on 3 calls just today where we're leveraging it for a marketing plan, for an email campaign, for a Facebook ad campaign. I was just on the phone with another fellow EOer company, and they want to use it for 50 franchises. And so I tell me about the franchise. So we said, okay, perfect. Here's how I would do that. And they're mapping it out with the 50 franchises. And we're running into new problems because how do 50 franchises use it in a way where the results are going to be different? So we're designing different unique prompts for the different regions. And so we're solving problems as we go in real time. And this is the only thing that gives me some sort of solace or confidence about ChatGPT 5. When it comes, I'll have made mistakes, had wins, had learnings in ChatGPT 4, and I pity the poor soul who stumbles into ChatGPT 5 without a little bit of background if their competitors are already using 4 and using it aggressively. The further you get behind, I'm afraid the further you're going to get behind. ChatGPT 5, I think, will be really user-friendly, but I'm glad we're using ChatGPT 4 to its fullest potential now, or some of its potential.
What is your biggest takeaway?
Of ChatGPT?
Just try it and make mistakes. Try AI. Don't deny it. Do it. Work with
Yes. Here's my biggest takeaway is if you've never tried it before, or if you've tried it a little bit and you just don't know where to start, I will make our expert marketing framework and prompt available. We'll put it on wherever this podcast is going to show. We'll make it available. We'll give you a link. It's available on our site in free resources at ai-training-academy.com. You can go there, look at free resources, and I make the prompt available. Don't take my word for it. Try it and experience it. You could read all about Italy, but when you go to Italy, it's a very different experience. You could read all about the Netherlands, but when you go, it's a different experience. Take that one prompt, fill in the 6 questions that we're talking about, and hit submit, and then step back and watch it happen. And your life will be changed. You'll realize this is a new world we're living in. From a marketing standpoint, all the others I don't know about, but my lane on marketing, it's changing everything.
The links will be in the show notes. So for everybody who would like to see the software in action, go to the show notes and where you can find the link and sign up. You get a 3-day trial, I guess. Try it, and if you're not satisfied with it, you can cancel it anytime. Just try it.
That's it. We always offer a free trial.
Scott, thanks for sharing your expertise and experience. It was great to talk to you again. If you want to learn more about entrepreneurship and AI, go to your favorite podcast platform. There are many more podcasts on AI to be found here, produced by the EO Media House. And again, thanks for listening, and until next time, goodbye.